There we go.
Okay.
All right, let's start again. What was I saying? Oh yeah, good morning, everyone. I miss banging the gavel on the podium, so I don't know how to start the meeting. I'm not gonna try banging my computer screen. Um, Thanks for everyone for joining. I'll try to drag this out for a minute to see if Phil can figure out his deal. Give him some time. I don't have much to report from the desk of the president, except we will be having an election today, a brief one for the activity manager position because our current activity manager has stepped down. So we'll address that in the new business section of the meeting, and we'll handle that. So if you are interested in the activity manager position, or there's somebody you'd like to nominate, start thinking about that. We do have at least one nomination already, but it would be interesting to see if anybody else is interested in the role. Let's see, what else do we have? We'll talk about field day when it comes field day time. I did want to remind everyone there will not be a club picnic in August. It's been canceled if you didn't get the word about that. And other than that, why don't we move? Phil's shaking his head. Phil, probably not ready yet. Phil, are you ready yet? No, Phil's not ready yet. Okay, let's since we're looking at me, let's talk about field day. So thanks everyone who participated in field day, whether you visited one of our host sites or whether you did your own thing and submitted your results. We've sent the links out in email a couple times. If there's anybody who didn't get it, we have a link for two things. One is to submit your results to ARL, and secondly to check in on our form so we know who you were and how many points you got. Hey, Jim, can you mute yourself? He's typing furiously. Thanks. So we have a form, a Google form, where you can report how you did and tell us how many points that you got when you submitted your results to the ARL, so we can add those up. The good news is, as of end of last week, we had 12 submissions into the ARL, 11 of which had reported into us, for a total of over 12,000 points, which is really good. Last year, our club field day operation had just over 13,000 points. So I suspect, I'm hoping that we'll equal our typical field day operation in terms of points. But again, I thank everybody for participating. And also, of course, if you're having trouble submitting results, you don't know what a dupe sheet is, or you think the form is super hard, feel free to shoot me an email. I'll be happy to get you help or give you help. It's pretty easy, particularly if you had a small operation. If it was just you by yourself, it's not so bad. And a dupe sheet isn't really that complicated. It's just a list of all the contacts that you did. So if you used any of the common logging software like N1MM or N3 FJP, it's pretty easy to get that out and upload it to the site. So I would encourage you, if you looked at the form and thought, oh my gosh, this is too complicated, maybe take another look at it. And if you're still having trouble, just let me know. I'll be happy to help you submit your results. Also, for our activity today, we're going to be spending some time talking about everybody's field day. So I'm looking forward to getting a few war stories from people, how you did, if you were out in the field. Did you get bit by mosquitoes? Did your feet get wet? That type of thing. So I think there's some pretty good stories out there. So I'm looking forward to hearing from everyone. Phil looks like he's still calculating. Is Hal here? I didn't look to see if Hal was here. Hal. I don't see Hal. Where's Hal? Said he had a radio officer report, but I don't see him. So we'll hold that for later in case he shows up. How you doing now, Phil?
People still aren't following some people still aren't following the instructions, so it's making it a little bit more difficult. Hold on another minute.
Uh-oh. I'll post it again.
So I posted it again in the chat window. If everybody can please go up and rename, it makes the job a lot easier for Phil. Asterisk, call sign, and your first name if you're a member. Exclamation, call sign, and your name if you're a prospective, and V for visitor, call sign, and your name. Thank you.
All right. Well, let's keep moving. Hey, Jim, do you have a treasurer report today? Did you have anything to report?
Yeah, the books are in order, and I did file our 501c3, our form 990N or EZ. Forgot what it's 990N. So we are all caught up with the IRS, and our books are looking good. I do want to reach out to, I did send an email to everybody that has purchased tickets for the membership appreciation banquet. With the current state of the COVID-19 and our falling back with, more and more numbers every day, who knows when we're going to be able to reschedule that. So there's already been a few refunds that I've made. If there's anybody else that still would like to have a refund, just send me an email and I'll set that up for you. And I think that's it. Back to net.
All right. Thank you for that. How you doing now, Phil?
I can finish it up. I can finish it up later, but we do have enough members for a quorum here.
Cool. All right.
We can at least move along with the voting in of the prospective members.
Nice. All right. Well, let's move along to that then. Thanks, Phil. Go ahead. Wait, Ivy has something.
May I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the
Oh, yeah,
last
that's
meeting?
right. Yeah, is there a motion? And Ivy motion?
Made a motion.
The general meeting minutes, right?
Affirmative.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thanks, Jason. And all in favor, click yes. All not in favor, click no. It's in the participants list.
Please limit to members only.
Members only, correct.
And you can find your voting yes, no, when you click on the participants tab down at the bottom.
Tell me when, Jim.
Looks like we got 29, Phil. 31.
That's a solid majority, and the VAs have it, and the minutes are approved. Now we go along to prospective members. And the first one we got here is Fred Mackaman. He applied back in May. It looks like we approved him back in May. And it's at the board approved him back in May, and he's looking to be voted to the club here. So that's Fred Mackaman, AC7NU. Go ahead and tell us a bit about yourself. Go ahead and unmute.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm new to this Zoom, so that mute and unmute hidden button really threw me. First, I'd like to say that I really like your name, Mike and Key Club. My gosh, what a beautiful name compared to our club in Florida. Just a plain old name of the town and amateur radio club. But I've been involved with amateur radio for several years. I was much more active when I lived in Florida, and I was working at in those days. I was active in a club down there. We held nets once a week. We was active in the VEC program. My personal interest is like in antennas, both handhelds and HF, which I was active in both of those areas. And we always had a program manager each monthly meeting that we had. So we're a very active club, like I was saying. And since I've been retired and been up here in Washington State, I haven't been active at all. I have no radios up until recently. So I finally bit the bullet, got another handheld, new Yaesu, got some antennas set up, got some high gain stuff sitting in an apartment window, which seems to work very good. So can't think of what else to really tell you, except I'm anxious to get back in the hobby, although I don't like to drive at night anymore. I'm retired 15 years ago. And other than that, downsize, don't have a house, have an apartment where all I have to do is call somebody and they come fix it. And I like that. But radio was a very big part of my life for 30 years or more. And that was mostly in Southeast Florida, where I lived for 42 years. A company moved me there from San Jose, California. So now I'm hitting the four corners of the United States, except no New York. I don't necessarily want to go there. I'm happy right where I am. I love your climate. So that's about it.
Well, excellent. Anybody have any questions or comments for Fred? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
It's too soon for my field day question, but where
Yeah.
in Florida, may I ask? Where exactly? Fred, where
Yes,
in Florida are you from?
Boca Raton.
Oh, okay. I used to live in Merritt Island.
Is that right?
North.
No. Yeah, I am. I 40 years we've explored Florida pretty thoroughly, and I tell you, the most interesting part of my life was and when I retired. My wife and I bought a motorhome and traveled the U.S. for a year, solid year, moving every day, no plan, just couldn't get lost, just keep on going. But anyways, I had a what they call a screw antenna mounted on the back with an HF whip, and so I had that was some adventure. I found out what the U.S. is all about. It's not in the big cities; it's out in the rest of the country, and it was quite an education.
Nice. Fred, have you, when you were really active in radio back down in Florida, were you participating in any of the digital modes?
Actually, no. That was all fairly new. I'll tell you the truth. I'll admit it. I worked for IBM 34 years in manufacturing, in management mostly, but that's where I got involved with amateur radio. We had a club there, and then IBM left Florida. We stayed, and then we could anyone that wanted to join the club. That's when we became really universal. The club really grew. But no, the digital modes are just beginning to come out then. And I'll have to admit also, I'm not a high-tech guy. I tend to rely on others for the technical expertise. I love to operate, but I'm not much into the making the stuff or exploring the high-tech digital stuff. Just don't have that expertise.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Okay, anybody else have any questions for Fred? Go ahead and unmute yourself. Not hearing anything. Go ahead and do your duty there, Jim.
So the way that we work this, Fred, and the other new members, is I'm going to temporarily put you in the waiting room so that we can vote and see where we are with you, and then we will join you back into the meeting. So I will put you into the corner. I'm sorry, the waiting room. Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and do a. Oh, that's right. Anybody have any comments or anything about Fred behind his back here? You know, as we usually do. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Has Fred come to any of the other Zoom meetings? I don't recall seeing him. This is the first time we've seen him.
I'm not sure on that, Jason. I could look in the. I'd
Oh,
have
no,
to
that's okay.
pull
Just
it
to know
up.
if he's been lurking and then decided to join or what.
Yeah.
What class operator is he?
I can actually get that right now.
Yeah.
He's an extra.
Oh, wonderful.
Second, he was interested in field day on his application and wants to do a couple of committees.
Oh,
It's too soon to ask the question. I don't do that in July, you know.
But no, he is interested in field day, so I thought you might like to know that, Ivy. Okay. Anybody else Not hearing anything. Go ahead and vote. Yes or no. Should be in the participants list.
It isn't yet.
Okay, Phil, so we got 38, 39.
Sounds like the ayes have it, and he's approved. Go ahead and let him back in, Jim.
All right, Fred. Congrats. Welcome to the club.
Hey, guys, you might take a couple of more minutes to give people time to vote, because on mine, I kept, for some reason, the line with the yes, no stuff keeps not being there, and it takes me a minute to get to it.
Well, we had a majority, so.
But just still.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that, Tim. Thanks. Thanks for the heads up.
Okay, and the next one here I've got on my participants, on my new prospective members list is Lisa Huntley. She doesn't have a call sign yet, but she appears to be very interested in ham radio. Go ahead and tell us a bit about yourself, Lisa.
I kind of know nothing about radio, but I am a technical person. I work for King County and I do project management and software administration and write T-SQL code, stuff, you know, database nerd, stuff like that. But I have watched my dad, a Boeing retiree, use his radio all of these years. He built radios. I used to love to play with him when I was a kid. He built one out of like copper coils and just all kinds of stuff. So I've watched it, but I haven't done it myself. Unfortunately, I've been stricken with chronic fatigue syndrome. So aside from work, I pretty much can't, it's hard for me to go out or do stuff. So it seemed like a good activity that I could maybe learn and participate in, even if it had to be remotely, because it can be hard for me to have the energy to go anywhere. So I just got a Biofang and my dad says, oh, you ordered the wrong one. So I think I already messed up, but I've got a little bit of it programmed and I'm still learning. But some of my interests in that are safety, like weather, earthquakes, just public safety. I'm single and I'm soon to be an empty nester. So, you know, anything I can do to keep myself engaged with other people and also keep myself safe while keeping my mind active, I think is a good thing for me. And so my dad recommended, well, look for a club. And I looked around and this seemed to be the best club, at least looking on the webpage and the internet, had the most activities, the most members. I agree with the former gentleman, the name is good. So I'm a total newbie, but it interests me very much.
Awesome, thanks. Anybody have any questions or comments for Lisa?
Hey, Lisa, I've got a question for you. What part of town are you living in right now?
Oh, sorry, yeah. I'm in unincorporated King County, kind of in between Renton and Issaquah. So I am in this little dip in the shadow of Squawk Mountain. And I think sometimes that gives me a little trouble. I have ordered an extra antenna, but even just like my internet and VPN from work goes out all the time. So I'm probably not in the best, quote, line of sight location.
Okay, the reason I ask is I live in Seattle and I'm also with the Seattle ACS, and we do a little thing. I'll contact you in an email. It's the hubs, and it's for the neighborhood hubs, but it's mainly in Seattle, and it does preparedness for earthquakes and things like that. So
Great, thank
just
you.
was curious.
Thanks.
Both Renton and Issaquah both have pretty active emergency communication services that if you want to do public service stuff, you know.
Oh, that's good.
So
Thank you.
both cities.
You
Okay.
can also find out if there's a CERT group that you want to be part of near your area. COVID aside, are you interested in actually getting a license?
You know, I'm not sure. It depends on if I can get up over this curve. If I feel I can become confident, I think that would be interesting. But, you know, I have to assure myself that I'm proficient first, and I'm, you know, just brand new to this.
Well, I will just tell you that as a person who's done a number of classes, taught a number of classes, that you will have no problem just, get the right book and work through it, and you should be fine, and even take a session if you'd like when we do classes again. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us. I'm sure we can recommend books and resources.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Lots of YouTube videos out there
I
too.
was just going to say the same
know,
thing.
but then you watch them and it's like, you get 3 seconds out of 10 minutes what you needed, on to the next one.
Yeah, some of the YouTube ones will actually have where they're doing a class where they've recorded them in segments so that they're a little easier to digest, and they kind of follow along with the books. I know a lot of folks found that helpful.
That's good. I also have some visual acuity difficulty, so I keep having to pause it, replay it, stare.
That's why I like the videos. 'Cause I can do it at my pace.
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay, great. Anybody else before Jim moves her out of the meeting real quick?
Yeah. Just as a precautionary thing, there are many of us here who you may think know everything, but believe me, we are all learning.
Still learning.
Even
Still learning.
though I've had a license for half a century, I learned from everybody that's here. So, and there are many Elmers listed on the Mike and Key website you can pick on. And I hope we embellish that list real soon.
Oh,
I always
that's really
felt that-
helpful.
I always felt that you get the license and then you start learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
Ivy. Just get the license first. I was like that when I got my general. It's like, oh, I need to know everything first. But
Right.
then my son said, you know what? Just get your license and then just start learning from there. And that worked. The technician license, Lisa, is actually easier to get than you think, especially if you're a
Okay.
technical person.
Yeah, I am. That's why this is kind of driving me nuts. I'm going to write that down. I'm also concerned a little bit about security, though, especially that I'll soon be an empty nester. And so I want to make sure I understand what the privacy is around the different licenses, like who you're sharing your information with, And I don't understand that. So, like, could somebody track me down, so to speak,
You're a lot safer than the internet, that's for sure. But
It will be in an FCC database. And so you might want to use a post office box as your address or something.
If you're concerned, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
One other thing, Lisa,
I don't care if people know where I live, I have guns.
Me too, but still learning that too. That's a new hobby as well.
Lisa, when you take the exam and fill out the form, you put out the information as your location. You can put in the post office box.
Yeah.
It's just got to be some way that the FCC, once your license, can get a hold of you. It doesn't have to be your physical address, but that is a public database.
Okay, good to know. Because being a King County public employee, 3 times my name, my salary, my title has been published in the Seattle Times. And in this day and age, you just have to be really careful,
Lisa,
So you can look me up that way too.
one other thing, don't be concerned about the level that you're at. When I was teaching classes, I've had people as young as 8 years old, and they passed the test on the first try. So don't worry about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's not just requires a little bit of study. It's not difficult.
Well, I'm a good test taker, but that doesn't always mean I got the material. So I have to be a little careful about that.
And there's lots of resources out there to help you too.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. That's very kind.
Anybody else? Not hearing anything, so go ahead, Jim, and do your duty.
Do your duties. Okay. Whoa. Hang on a sec, because the position moved around. Okay, she's safely in the waiting room.
Okay, so does anybody have anything to say about Lisa?
I think she'll be a good addition.
I
I like her energy. She's a nerd at heart. Could be fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we always need XYLs.
Right. And when she reached out to info@mikeandkey.org, I responded, and her and I had a back and forth email quite a bit. And then I instructed her how to get, fill out the form and everything like that. And she seemed very energetic and wanting to learn more about ham radio and get.
Cool. Okay, anybody else? Not hearing anything, so go ahead and cast your votes, yes or no. We'll give it a little extra time here. Thanks for letting us know, Tim.
Okay, it looks like it's stabilized. Has everybody voted? We are at 41, 42. So I think that's
Here's
good.
that the yeses have it. So Lisa is in. Go ahead and let her back in, Jim.
Hey, Lisa,
Hey.
welcome to the club.
And that's all we have for today. We had one person who just applied to us, so the board will need to approve his application at the next meeting, Brendan. So it's like, well, the board will get to your application at the next, and we'll be glad to have you at the next meeting.
So-
Back to you. You had something, Jim?
Yeah, I got one quick thing. For the new members, if you look in the group chat, I posted where you can go up online and pay for your first membership. Since we're all virtual, we have to do virtual payment. And so you can use Square or PayPal or send a check to the post office box. And I just put the link in the group chat. So back to Net.
Yep, I'm done here too, so hand it back over to you there, David.
All right, thanks for that. Welcome to the new members. It's great. It's great to see all the activity and all the people applying to the club. Just a comment on the name of the club. Ever since I joined the board, I've been asking, where is the mic and the key? But nobody's ever been able to produce it. So I don't know if we have a problem there. We'll have to wait and see. Sure.
I believe it's with the National Bureau of Standards in a climate controlled station area, so that it's always a standard.
the mic.
Hey, David, Scott has his hand up. Scott, chairman of the board.
Hey.
Hey, I just thought, we're doing a parking lot exam session today. So I'm down here trying to get set up. But I thought I would just check in to see if you need me for anything. Are you going to run the election yourself?
Yeah, I got it. You got great weather, so have fun.
Yeah, we got a bunch of campies to set up and things like that. Some of the VEs are starting to show up.
Cool.
Wear your sunscreen. Don't get sunburned.
I got a big hat.
Big floppy hat.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, let's see. I still don't see Hal, so we won't. We'll save the radio officer report for next time. Hold you all in suspense. I have no idea what it was about. So let's keep moving on here. Do we have any? Do we have any old business before we move on to new business?
Hey, David, where are we at with awards? That's been old business for a couple of months now.
Yeah, so well, more of a board matter, I guess. But so I've conferred with the awards committee, and they'd like to present awards at the August club meeting. So look forward to that next month. Any other old business items? All right, we'll move on to new business. So the first First item of new business I have for you, I should have brought my notes up before I started this. I'm so prepared. Is we need to elect a new activities manager because our current activity manager has stepped down from his position. So I would like to thank Brian KI7 MVM for giving it a shot. He had personal reasons for stepping down. I totally respect that and understand, but I appreciate him for giving it a try. But the activities manager position is an elected position, which means that the membership needs to vote someone in to replace the activities manager. And per the bylaws state that we should have this election at the next general membership meeting, which is this thing right now. So, so that's what we will be doing. I do have one, let's see, where did my nomination go? I do have one nomination already for the activity manager position, and that was, who the heck was that? I was emailing. Sorry, me and email don't get along. Who was that applied for that?
Jason,
Jason, I knew it.
I did.
GLB.
That's what it was. I knew it was Jason, sorry. Something about me and Gmail. I am in Outlook, I'm a wizard, but in Gmail, I'm an idiot. Maybe I need to get my Gmail and Outlook. That'll
Exactly. Sync your Gmail and Outlook.
Yeah, I need to do that. I need to do that. So do we have any other nominations for the activities manager position?
I'd like, can I campaign for the reason why we need an activities manager?
Well, we're gonna have an activities manager. Would you like to talk a little bit about what it is and why it's so exciting to be the activities manager?
Yes, I was hoping you were going to say that because I was it for 1 year. I followed Phil, K7PIA, and you get to, unfortunately we have to hold we can't do an absolute raffle, but we can do random prize drawings during our meetings. But when we get out of this and we get back into the actual meeting together, it is a great time to put your bid in, if you will, for neat prizes that I picked because these are things that I wanted to. Also, the activities manager looks through all the membership to find people who can give us presentations. We kind of, what would I say? We kind of had a little bump in the road because we don't have an absolute presentation today, but that is the responsibility that you can look through the members. And believe me, there are talented people throughout this entire pages. I wish I had 2 monitors that I could spread the people out because everybody has a talent that they could show for a presentation. It's a lot of fun, and I actually counter, what do you call it? Anyway, I said, come on, somebody else take this because it's a ton of fun. I didn't want to have all the fun myself. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, the other thing I'd like to mention in terms of presentations, the current situation has kind of crystallized the need for online and remote presentations and helped clarify amongst kind of our Pacific Northwest amateur radio community who is available to deliver such presentations. So it's not just about extracting presentations from the club membership, though certainly we have enough members you probably could come up with multiple presentations a year. There are resources for getting guest presenters, and there are a lot of people in the area that are willing to come on site or do a remote presentation. So I think this time where we're all virtual has really opened our eyes to what's possible. I could see even having remote presenters even when we're back to meeting in person. So I think, now is a great time to kind of transition into the activities manager position where at a time where you really only need to do about half the job, which is arranging the presentations. You don't necessarily have to do the raffle part, though, as was mentioned, the raffle part is a lot of fun, and sourcing the raffle prizes is a lot of fun. So, so on that note, do we have any other nominations? You can nominate yourself. That's okay. Okay, that's what I expected. Since Jason already volunteered, Jason, though you don't have any competition, would you like to say a few words about why you're interested in the activities manager position and why everybody, though they don't have anybody else to vote for, should still vote for you?
Sure. Thanks, David. Yeah, it's one of those things I kind of echo what David's saying, is that, I think part of the fun of a club or any event is be able to cross-train and be able to share our knowledge. And it's one reason I stepped up and have been working with Jim and the rest of the guys on our SIGs, at least the Wednesdays and Friday SIGs that I could make, and trying to share our knowledge. And I think being able to do remote presentations opens up a wide world of folks who might be willing, who couldn't travel here. They're not in the Northwest necessarily. There's a wealth of knowledge, and even some of the YouTube stars that are out there that are great ham radio operators and doing different things are willing to kind of be able to do a presentation for your club. And there's a lot of untapped knowledge out there. And I'd like to be able to kind of pass that along. I think there's being maybe a little more of the techie, geeky kind of guy. I think there's a lot of opportunity for digital modes and for technology to kind of combine with, pure voice and, CW. And there's we can bring a lot of people in and share that knowledge. And I think it'd be fun. I've only been part of the club for a few months now, but I see a great opportunity and like to kind of be able to help us kind of advance this, see where we can go. And I'd certainly love to be able to get some door prizes and help offer up things, prizes and gifts and kind of just fun stuff for the club. Always makes coming even more fun, even when we're all virtual. It's great to see everyone's face, and I look forward to being able to carry over the virtual side of it, even when we're able to meet in person again. So it'll be fun. I hope I can do the club proud, and we'll have some fun.
Cool. Well, thanks. I appreciate Jason for stepping up, and even though I'm running the election, there's nobody running against him. So, I would put my endorsement on Jason. He sent me a very thoughtful email, and I spammed him with a giant email, all my thoughts on what I think the activities manager should.
It was good background info. Even Mark didn't scare me off.
Yeah, all my angst about Mark. I mean. So anyway, so we won't be doing an election. What we'll be doing is we just need a majority of the members present to vote in favor of Jason as the activities manager. So we'll do a vote just like we did with the voting in new members. So if everyone who's in favor of Jason just would click yes in the participants list.
Should we kick Jason out and talk behind his back?
No, I don't think that's necessary. We're already talking behind his back. All right, so Jason wins, competing against himself. Thanks everyone. Thanks to Jason for stepping up.
Thanks, guys.
It's the same way they elected me, Jason.
Yeah, by Soviet style meetings where the decisions made ahead of time. And
is that a train coming rumbling down the tracks?
All right.
Yeah.
So let's see. Do we have any other new business before I move on?
A comment from Dave.
Go ahead.
Jason will put you on the board distribution list.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll send you an invite. I will make a note that I won't throw away, I promise.
Put it in Outlook, not Gmail.
on paper.
Oh, that's even worse.
David?
Yes, sir.
This is Michael, and I wondered if anyone present knows what Hal wanted to tell the members, because Hal did email you directly to ask to be put on the agenda today. So he evidently has gotten stuck somewhere where he can't answer up.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else knows. All I got from Hal was that he had a report. He didn't provide any detail. So unfortunately, I don't know what he was planning to talk about.
I'm gonna make a educated guess that's not really educated, but I know that he was ordering the connectors for the coax and was gonna, because we've already got the coax to be replaced up at the repeater. I'm gonna guess at that, but we should wait and find out from Hal to make certain. I think he was gonna get it the coax connectors put on. And
right. So for those that aren't familiar, we have a 2-meter repeater up on East Tiger Mountain, and we've been getting some noise and interference on the repeater, and we think the problem is the coax feed line for the antenna. So Hal is working on replacing that. So that's what we're talking about. So maybe it was going to be an update on that, but we'll see. If I hear anything and it's super.
Michelle's trying to wave. Michelle.
Oh, sorry.
I just called them. You forgot. They'll be here in a couple.
Oh.
Thanks, Michelle.
I didn't think of doing that. I just assumed this was the most important thing in his life. And if he could be here, he would have been here.
Football is.
Oh, football. Is that still a thing? Oh, okay. We're second most important.
Then there's
Okay. So, well, we can get Hal's report anytime he shows up. You guys just holler at me if he shows up, because I'm on speaker view, so I may not notice him. So let's move on to the good of the order. So the first thing, I actually have a couple reminders for everyone. If you read my article in the Relay this month, you'll notice that we have a lot of things going on, and I was kind of adding them up and kind of struck by how active the club is. But I wanted to put in a plug for a few things that are happening every week. Actually, not a few things, a bunch of things. So one is every day at 7:30 on the 2-meter repeater, we have a social net. And then on Wednesdays, it's the technical net for people's technical questions. So if you're new, but you have your license and you can program your HT, the technical net's a good place for you. Though the daily net I'm sure they would help you too if you got on there with a problem. That's a little more social. We also have a net on the 220 repeater every Sunday. The information's on the website. And then weekly, we have a daily rag chew that's still going on at 5:30 every day, daily Zoom meeting. So I know there's a few people who are diehards and get on there every day. So that's happening every day on Zoom. And then 3 other times a week, we have 3 other special interest groups that are meeting on Zoom. Monday evenings at 8:30, the Morse Code Mondays group meets. Wednesday nights also at 8:30, the WinLink Wednesdays group is on Zoom. And Friday at 8:30, we have a group that meets to talk about digital modes. So a bunch of different opportunities to get into things you might be interested in. And obviously, we have a new activities manager, Jason. If you have any ideas for some kind of additional group you're interested in leading something or starting something, feel free to reach out to Jason or any board member with your idea, and we'd be happy to support you. There's really no limit necessarily on what the club can do. If you look at the schedule and you say, Morse Code Mondays, I don't care about Morse Code. I want to talk about, I don't know, soldering, then we can have soldering Saturdays. We just need you to step up and lead it. That's fine, right? I don't know if you want to. Can anybody talk that much about soldering? Maybe.
Soldering virtually.
Yeah, but I mean, these groups are started by individuals who have an interest and a passion, and it's not. There aren't. As long as it's relates to amateur radio, I think the board is happy to support you and make it happen. So oftentimes, I kind of get. From time to time, as the president, I'll get an email and people will say, well, I don't like this group, or I don't like that group, or, I didn't feel welcome in this situation, or, I wish they had done it. I wish they were doing it this way or that way. And it's like, well, it's an all volunteer outfit. So, if you don't like the way it is, you could step up like Jason did and take it over. If you want to start something new, and you want to put a couple hours every week into it, like, we're happy to support you. So, don't feel like you're limited, and don't feel like you're alone, because that's the other thing that's interesting, right? Is like people start these groups and they, you think, oh, there's probably only, one or two of us that are interested in Morse code or WinLink, but then you have a group that's meeting every week. So don't feel like you're alone, and don't be afraid to try stuff. So that was what I had, my ramble for the good of the order. Does anybody have anything else?
Yeah, Dan has his hand up. Go ahead, Dan.
Hi, yeah, for the good of the order. So speaking of the social net, 730, the tech net, the 220 net, stuff like that, we are desperately looking for net control operators. So if you have a license and you're a Mike and Key Club member, please step up. It's not hard. It's fun. If you've ever checked into a net, you know what the net control operator does. He basically just keeps one person talking at a time and plays a little social comment here and there. So we really need some net control operators. With Brian, he's going to be basically on leave for a month or more. So we need some position. We need to fill in that position there. TechNet Wednesdays needs another operator, because I believe, David, you're doing two.
Yeah, I only do two a month.
2 times a month. So we need people to sneeze, raise your hand, volunteer, and say, yeah, I'd like to do that. And that's all I have. Pleading.
I would echo Dan. I mean, I unfortunately I'm not doing it here with Mike and Key, but I do it for PSRG on the Saturday at noon. It's a lot of fun. I mean, you get to talk to everybody, you hear everybody's story, you kind of play traffic cop, and keep people moving along. But it's really rewarding. I mean, I would recommend it to anybody, especially even if you got a little mic fright. What a great way to get your mic fright out. You don't see anybody. You just keep them moving along. If you wanted to, you can inject as much or as little, and it's just fun to have a time to sit down and be able to talk to our peers and make some new friendships. So I'd echo it. It's a really rewarding.
Hey, David, we also have Bill KL7BH with your hand raised. Go ahead, Bill.
Good morning, everyone. I want to remind everyone about and apologize for I'm on a computer without a camera, so apologize for that. But I want to remind everybody about a Mars HF skill exercise coming up this coming week. But first of all, I just want to commend Dave and Jim and all of the Mike and Key leadership for the terrific job that they're doing organizing and running these Zoom meetings. I'm on quite a few meetings, and this by far and away is probably the best organized and most well-run meeting that I participate in. And very professional for a group of amateurs. Hi. But I digress. Now, Mars is running a communications exercise Monday through Friday of this coming week. And we're looking at areas of interoperability, propagation, message traffic handling. And here's where you folks, especially those interested in high frequency, might come in. And that is, we're looking for hams to join us on 60 meters. And this would be Monday through Thursday. That's Monday the 20th through Thursday the 23rd. It's on channel 1 on 60 meters. That is on 5330.5 kilohertz. And remember, all military is on upper sideband. So Monday through Thursday at noon, 1200 local. And then there's also 2 additional sessions on Tuesday and Thursday. That's the 21st and the 23rd at 8 p.m., 2000 hours. So we'd love to have you join us. We'll be looking for hams to give us a call. We'll be using our Mars call signs. Just come in and listen for us, and hopefully you'll be able to hear us. So we'd really appreciate all of you, or as many of you as possible, to join us to help out with interoperability and propagation. So that's the announcement in that regard. I just want to also pile on as far as net control. My evenings are kind of tough, but I've been doing a number of net control sessions for Mars over the past few months. They are a bit challenging, especially when band conditions are poor on HF, but very rewarding and a lot of fun. So with that, thanks for listening, and back to net control.
Cool.
Hey,
Thanks for that, Bill.
Hey, David. In regards to what Bill was just talking about, I did find the ARRL link to the Mars announces the HF skills exercise. So that's in the chat group. And I also noticed a message that Hal is on board now.
All right, Hal's here. Hal, give us your radio officer report.
Yeah. Hey, sorry I was late. I was out with the wife and we were watering our plants out on the back deck and got carried away. So the one thing I wanted to mention is that we do have the coax ready to go up to the Tiger Mountain. I got a couple connectors off of eBay, and we have those installed on the 50-foot run of coax. So on next Saturday, the 25th, I'm going to meet with Jim Monson and Steve Cook, and we're going to go up and install replace the coax on the 2-meter repeater. We're going to meet up at Tiger Mountain Gate about 1 p.m. on Saturday. So if there's anybody that hasn't been up to Tiger Mountain, if you want to come up and see what it's like, I don't want to have a whole lot of people up there, but because it takes a lot of cars and you have to go through a gate. It's about a 15-minute drive or so up to the top. And but if you want to come, we can share rides and go up. So get a hold of me. So I'm hoping that will help, and anxious to see what the difference is once we get that done. So the repeater will probably be down on Saturday from, I don't know, starting maybe 1 o'clock through 3 o'clock or something like that while we replace the coax. That's all I wanted to mention, I guess, for the radio officer.
Cool. Thank you for that. Sounds good. We'll look forward to the funny womp noise maybe hopefully going away, right?
Well, I hope so. You never know in mountaintop repeater situation what's causing a problem.
Yeah, there's a lot of
work them off one at a time.
Great. Well, thank you for the update, and that's awesome that you were just like out in the garden and got lost. It's a great day for that. Let's see. Do we have any other items for the good of the order before we?
David, we have James, our secretary, WQ78, hand up. Go ahead.
Hey, I was going to ask Bill, KL7BH, to mention because there's a lot of really dedicated people involved with Mars. And even though it's changed its mission over the years, Bill, do you want to mention like who they might contact if they wanted to get more involved or, get their AAA call sign, all that cool stuff?
That's really a great question. Let's see, there's the armymars.org website. You can collect information there. I think you can even apply, and it will be funneled to whatever state you're in. And of course, we're looking for members here in Washington. So that is one way. And contact me. I don't know if my my email's available. Yeah, it's I really enjoyed it. I've just got on HF, probably about just a little over a year ago, actually, and it was a result of a field day. I had been just doing the repeater thing, and went to a field day, got the HF bug, and I had been a military communicator back in the day, and I'm also retired from the Army National Guard, so it was kind of in my DNA. And I've gotten, as I go along, I get more and more involved. So it's a great way to serve and to give back. But yeah, I think going to the Army Mars website, a good place to start. And
So again, Bill, sorry to interrupt. I did post the address in the chat window, netcom.army.mil. /Mars.
And I think if you also just armymars.org is another way to get to the same site. So yeah, thank you for that. So if there's any other questions, I'm not sure what best way to contact me, but I'm open to discussing it.
Are you good on QRZ?
I believe I am. Yep, I'll verify that. But yes, I do have an account and I'm on QRZ.
Cool. All right. Anything else for the good of the order? Jim's out of coffee. All right. I would entertain a motion to end the business portion of the meeting, if someone was so inclined.
I see Ivy waving her hand.
I so move.
Ivy, would anyone like to second that?
Second.
All right.
Jason.
All right. All in favor, vote yes or no. Well, if you're not in favor, vote no.
There's always one.
All right. That's it. So the business meeting is concluded. This is the gavel. I'm gaveling, banging the gavel. Let's take a 5-minute break so Jim can get coffee.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now.